right, and welcome back. We are having quite the discussion this morning on K24 as we talk about whose role it is to actually talk about sex to our children. Is it going to be you as the parent, or are you leaving it to the teacher, or are you going to be leaving it to Google? Because like I said earlier on, it's definitely one of the three. My name is Shiko Kaitani, and we're asking you to contribute to our ongoing discussion through our social media platforms. You can catch us as at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you prefer to call in, go ahead. Our numbers at the bottom of your screen. Let us know what you think. Our poll is still ongoing, and of course, we're going to be sampling some of your feedback towards the end of this live broadcast. Okay, the question, of course, yet again, is whose job is it to start the sex talk? Parents or teachers? There you have it. Whose job is it to start the sex talk? Parents or teachers? Before we went on a break, we did have John on the line who went on to say, ni parents wameanguka mtiani, and went on to say, by the way, it is the mothers who have let the girls down. If you are a mom and you're watching this and you've got a girl, by the way, who you're raising, what do you have to say about that? Still in studio, Catherine Karira, who is a Sunday school teacher, is still here with us at the center. Ruth Wanjiko, young mother and student. And of course, right next to me is Esther Mbao, counseling psychologist, absolutely passionate about sexuality. Esther,
yes,
what do you have to say about that call before even we continue?
In as much as he would blame the women for the girl issues, the girls are not having sex alone. They're having it with the boys. So who's taking care of the boy as well? And the thing is, at the end of the day, sex talk is not just the mother to the girl and the father to the boy. It has to be all of us talking together. I have boys and I sit down and I talk to them. I ask them, so do you know your body parts? You know, I start from the very basic. And when I say we talk about sex from the age of 2, I'm not saying you tell the 2-year-old the act.
This is,
you're starting to build the foundation. Let's get it very clear. Between 2 and 5, you're naming the body parts, you're setting boundaries, you're telling them this is who you are. And when they find out, when they go to school at around 5, they ask, if it's a boy, how come this girl doesn't have a penis like me? So you start saying their differences.
And by the way, just so you know, if you're tuning in right now, Esther and even Catherine, I might add, are actually advocates for using structured language around this particular discussion. You're not going to call it doo-doo.
No. A spade is a spade. It's not a big spoon. Let's be very clear.
Yes. Okay.
And then when they reach the age of 5, 6, they become curious. That's when they ask a lot of questions. So they'll start asking you, where do babies come from? You don't have to tell them exactly everything. You can tell them, babies come from mommy's womb. Mommy has a stomach and mommy has a womb. So a baby grows in mommy's womb, and when the baby is ready, they will come out through mommy's uterus.
So we stop this nonsense of babies come from the supermarket.
No. The day they discover you lied to them about that, they'll wonder how many more lies have you been telling them.
Okay, Catherine, what do you have to say about that very quickly before
I know one of them asked me, where do babies come from? And I quickly returned them to the book of Genesis. God is no longer in the business of meddling in the mud. So he gave us the authority when we get married to create babies for him.
When we get married.
When we get married, yes, we create babies for him.
Okay, I'm sure, of course, you probably remember the court proposing to lower the sex consent age to 16 years old. And the argument here is, by the way, if you know, you know. So as we go on to say that, okay, these are minors, but we're forgetting how smart are these minors?
And that's why we need to educate them.
Okay, Ruth, roping you in yet again, what do you think about that? That, by the way, the age consent should actually be 16, because the argument is children today actually know so much. Mothers like us, as our mama, mtajua? Haujui. Thank you very much.
Okay, as for me, I can say it should not be lowered to the age of 16. In fact, it should be increased to the age of 21.
Good.
That's me. That's what I say about it. Because, you know, the moment you're lowering it down, it's the moment you are creating the productivity so high. And you see, like a mango tree. When you plant a mango tree, within 3 to 5 years, it started producing the flowers. and you need to pluck these flowers out before it produces the fruit, and give it around 10 years. At this time, at 10 years, it is able to produce and give more better fruits than when it's young. When it's young and you allow the flowers to produce the fruits, that means it will not produce as much fruits as it should when it was older. Okay, so when we allow the children, when they are younger, to produce the fruits, that means their productivity in the future will be less than how they would have done it when they are older. So it's better they increase it. It's better they increase it to 21 other than decrease it to 16.
Okay, Enoch from Eldoret is on the line. Good morning, Enoch.
Good morning. This is Enoch.
Yes.
I'm glad with what is going on.
Okay.
I really concur first with there's one who said about the attire, the way women put on. Actually, to say directly, I'm speaking as a man, and directly, as he said, it is very true. And the way our ladies put on really matters a lot. So that, and as the way teacher said there, Sunday school teacher, I totally agree with her. It's all about abstinence, because even as kids grow up, as you address them, that this thing is until you get married, but for now it's all about abstinence. It really works, and also you guide them in the way of the Lord.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Enoch. What is happening to our ladies this morning? Is it because there are enough women on set? Ladies, please give us a call. What do you have to say about this? Dennis is also on the line from Rongai. Another gentleman on the line. Dennis, Dennis, good morning.
Good morning too.
Yes.
Yes, I would also like to chip in on today's discussion. I appreciate you brought a very good discussion, a good forum for us to contribute.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a different take on the same. I want to say that parents have not failed, because most of the people, a lot of time is spent with the teachers at school.
Yes.
So I wish to say that maybe it's the duty of the government that has failed.
Yeah.
Yes, because the government could have come up with a comprehensive curriculum. Yes, because they've got experts and teachers are trained. They could have trained the teachers. They know the right time to introduce sex education to students.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, because most of the parents with us, the current situations, most of the time we work during the day, we work during the night.
Yes.
And we entrust our children to teachers.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that, Dennis. I understand we've got Joshua. Do we have Joshua on the line? Okay, let's take Joshua. Good morning, Joshua.
3 points here.
Yes.
Number one, I always have a problem with us when we try to introduce and talk about sex education to children. Because surely now when you talk about sex education to a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, in the name of trying to introduce sex education to a young child, you are wasting your time, because this child does not cognitive thinking and the mindset of that toddler or that young child does not comprehend sexual matters. That's number one. Number two, I don't know why we always try to demonize sex, and the ladies at the panel will agree with me. You see, we only look at sex as a bad thing because of diseases and pregnancies. But we all agree that sex is a good thing. Everybody enjoys sex. That's number two. Number three, I have a problem when we try to legislate sex to our teenagers. Why do I say this? It is a human weakness whereby we try to usurp natural nature. You see, human beings, like all other animals, somehow attain sexual maturity at a certain age. So with or without education, every human being somehow will get to understand sexuality at a certain age. And you see, the reason why we tend to think that sex should be introduced at a particular age, it is wrong to have sex at a particular age, is because we have brought things that have postponed our the natural sexual maturity. And this is education. But naturally, if you look at the way human beings are supposed to develop and grow, you realize that sex is supposed to come at an earlier age. So when I see all mothers and women trying to talk to their 42, to their 13-year-old, 15-year-old girls about sex and telling them that sex is not bad, Their bodies are calling for it because naturally the body has matured. So the more you try to tell them to post.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wow, Joshua.
Let me let me first respond to the other caller.
Yeah.
It is not the work of the government to teach our children about sex education. It is the work of the parents. It's not the work of the teachers. The teachers are supposed to, they have a curriculum. At the end of the day, there are life skills that can only be learned at home, including sex. And sex is a good thing, but it is how we introduce it. It's how the children get to learn about it. Number two, about the abstinence and about our teenagers having sex. It goes back to self-control. Did we teach these children self-control from the age of 2? When they're throwing tantrums and they're at the supermarket and they want candy. And what do? You give it to them. You've not taught them self-control at that point. So how do you expect, if with the little things you didn't teach them self-control, how will they have self-control in the beautiful thing of sex, which they will enjoy and get pleasure from, and it's a human thing?
Okay, even this tag that we actually have and we say bad manners, you see MJ associated more with the phrase bad manners than anything else. Are we also teaching our children, by the way, to sort of view sex in a bad way? It goes back to those labels that we have. So you're telling them, you need bad manners, you need to be mbaya.
You should call it as it is.
Thank you.
Because when you call it bad manners, even when they get married like us, they'll still think it is bad manners.
They won't enjoy it.
Joshua said he finds it funny when we speak to 3 years about sex. The reason we have to talk to from the earliest, as I said, is because of defilement. And Joshua said something very good. Sex is good. We are all here because of sex. Our parents did it. That's how they gave birth to us. What we are asking our children is to abstain until they finish, they marry, then they can have sex the rest of their lives. Shiko, my parents are alive. They have been married for 62 years. Sex now. So we are just telling these teenagers that they are not going to abort their destiny in the name of sex. And then, as he said, today we have a lot of STIs. Some are not even curable. So we might tell them, go and have all the contraceptives that you are going to have, but there are no contraceptives for demons. There are no contraceptives for memories. There are no contraceptives for HIV, HPV, and others that are being manufactured today. Actually, from the word of God, Shiko, now I know that our actions will make us sick. Proverbs chapter 1, that 1. Proverbs 1, verse that 1 says, you shall get what you deserve, and your actions will make you sick.
Okay, Ruth, do you have any regrets in regards to this? Because when you're looking back and you're thinking, this has totally, it changed my life.
Let me tell you, first thing, I'll first of all start by saying this. Teaching children about sex at an early age is very important. I said I'm a mother, a 3-year-old daughter, who needs to understand that these are my private parts and nobody should touch them. As I told you earlier, I was coming from the bathroom with a towel, and she had to ask me, Mama, what is this? And she's very curious, she wants to know what is this. So if you don't tell that child, this will come to you one day, and no one should touch this, they will want to know. And what they will do, they will look for the surrounding people around them. If there are boys around them, they will also enjoy understanding what is this, because they don't know about it.
And they will cross boundaries.
They will cross the boundaries. So the earlier you tell the child, the better. Because next time when someone comes and touches her, she will come and tell me, Mama, someone touched me here.
So all this is actually fighting the bigger war of child molestation.
Exactly. And again, I would like to say this. When you teach a child at an early age, it is better. Because one thing, this child, her mind is very blank. You are the first teacher. A child learns from the mother, from the time you're suckling your baby. So what you teach them is what they understand, more than what they get from outside. You are the first parent.
It's not only about the child. It's not only about molestation. It's about teaching our children how to make the right decisions when it comes to that point of, will I have sex or not? Because here's the thing, in as much as we're telling the teens not to have sex, they're having it. And here's the thing, every behavior is need-driven. There's a reason why our teens are engaging in sex more and more. So in as much as we're telling them to abstain, we never taught them self-control. I'm sorry to say this, and I'm a mother, we need to introduce about safe sex, about the use of condoms, even as we try to move them away from that point of having reckless sex.
So for you, you are on the stand of safe sex. not abstinence.
There's abstinence, yes, but let's be very realistic. Not everyone has self-control. And that's why you even hear the men saying, talk about the dressing, talk to the girls. But even with the dressing, if you had self-control, if you had instilled this, which doesn't usually happen, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Absolutely.
But sadly, there are children who don't know about self-control. They've not learned about sex at home. They've watched pornography and they're 16 and they're saying, you know what, this thing looks good. I want to try it. So at that point, let's talk about safe sex.
Catherine, when you actually compare systems, perhaps here in Africa, and if you look at the West and even how they have developed modules or programs around sex education, of course, we are worlds apart. Today, you can get DVDs. They even have class about it that uses perhaps appropriate analogies or whatever you have. So for here, our education system, because like you see, in school, teacher is brushing it off. It's just, you talk about sex, trying to define the genders. This is a boy, this is a girl. But that's it.
In school, the teacher is more grade-oriented.
Okay.
Character formation, as we are all saying, starts with the parent.
Yes. Yeah.
However, we are in the technology era.
Okay.
Where we can click and get everything that you want to know. What our dear parents and our dear children need to know is what I normally say. To know what you know. And to know what you don't know is what knowing is about.
Okay, hold that thought because I understand we've got a caller on the line. Yes?
Dear Mama.
Yes, this is, hello?
Hello, go ahead.
This is Pastor Utawi. I'm calling from Nakuru.
Yes.
At a certain age when we were young, we used to go to high school to talk to children about sex. So we're teaching about behavioral change communication. So the problem is that when you tell the child when he's still young, that's tabia mbaya.
Yeah.
When he grows old, when you start introducing sex education, the child will be curious. He'll be saying, Mama, alisema hii ni tabia mbaya. Sasa ananifundisha tabia mbaya.
Yeah.
So that will create some barrier. And then when we talk about sex, we should consider that it is a sensitive thing that considers life of the young people.
Right.
And therefore, we don't need to force things. We don't need to make judgments on things. Because sex is a feeling. It comes from within.
Yeah.
These people, sometimes they start having sex at the age of 9. And it is true, and you cannot force it. So the best thing is that we need to look for the right approach.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the young lady, the way she expressed on how you're supposed to introduce sex education to your child at that tender age.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Pastor. All right, we've got Millicent from Eldoret. Makofi, the First Lady. Millicent.
Yes.
Thank you for breaking the ice. You're the first female caller we've had today.
Most welcome, Shiko.
Karibu sana. What do you have to say?
Okay, I have this concern,
Yeah.
I have a nine-year-old daughter. Now, mnaweza allow niongee kwa Kiswahili?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, siku moja nikapata text sex kwa simu yangu akitafuta kwa Google.
Yes.
Yes, and when I took my phone nikapata the pictures of sex, people having sex. And I was very shocked. In fact, I am mom till today.
Wow. Because you don't know how to bring it up. You're wondering.
I don't know how to tell her. I don't know how to tell it.
So you don't know whether to beat her? Wow.
Yes.
And how old is your child again?
She's 9. She's
9 years old. Wow. 9 years old, Googling pornographic content pretty much.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So
Thank you.
I don't know how to tell her. Kindly advice.
Okay, fine. We'll definitely address that. Esther, I can see you're fired up to actually answer that question. Before we get back to you, Catherine, because you had a very good point. Yeah.
9-year-olds, they're very curious.
Yeah.
So when you give them the phone, they're bound to come across pornography. What you need to do from the age of 6 is teach them about online safety. And you need to tell them when you come across these photos, these are adult sites, people doing adult things that you're not ready for.
Right.
So what you need to do is when you come across them, don't visit. But if you do come across them and you have questions, kindly come, let's address. Because at this age, I can tell you, with our children at 9, they're having sex. I can tell you for a fact, between 13 and 15, I've had clients who are saying they're bisexual. Let me shock you. Yes, between 13 and 15, they're saying, I'm bi.
I want to experiment.
Not I want to experiment. I have a girl and I have a boy.
Yes.
And I am good and I know what I am doing. Right. So sexuality issues, in as much as we are hiding our heads in the sand, is a big issue affecting our youth.
We literally have 4 minutes, Catherine. Please wrap up the point because we have to give our curriculum for our parents today as we wind up.
Okay, let me say pornography is not new. Even in the days of the Bible, it was there.
Yes.
David watched one raw data pornographic movie and it had ripple effect. So our children must get to know just because it's available, it doesn't make it right. And the children will only hear it from mommy. And then, as I say, the school teacher are goal-oriented, grades-oriented. That is why we come in as Sunday school, because it is there. And I want to say this, as we mess our today, we are messing our future.
Okay.
We must speak the truth, Shiko, in a very truthful way.
All right. Yes. Okay. Ruth, as we're winding down, what do you have to tell parents as a young mom, someone who started at 16? Speak on behalf of the teenagers this morning. What do you want to tell parents who are watching?
One thing I'd like to tell the parents today is that they have to break the bond between the child and the parent.
Okay.
They have created a very big gap whereby the child cannot ask the mother a question and the mother can never answer a child. So this bond has to be broken in order to have this free conversation about sex.
All right. Esther, let me charge you with that. What's our curriculum, our take home this morning before we take a look at our polls? Okay, from age what to age what, we're doing what? Age what to age what?
Okay. From 2 to 5, we're naming the body parts. We are setting boundaries. We're actually teaching them autonomy to even start washing their own bodies, especially the private parts. 6 to 8, we are telling them the basics. Where do babies come from? What happens that a baby is formed? And we're not going into the act. We're actually just saying there's a sperm from a man and an egg from mommy that forms and a baby grows in mommy's stomach. And then from 9, they will now start asking about the act. That is why you start telling them what Mwalimu is saying. You know, some things are for adults and it's of no benefit to you at now. Just know that when you're an adult, you as mommy, as a man and as a woman, you come close together and that is how you form a child. But when they reach the age of 13, this is where you have to now start getting a bit more detailed. And you also need to tell them about safe sex because let's be realistic. In their generation, among their peers, they have children who already have HIV. They already have children with STIs. So how do you protect your child? You're not always with them, but you need to empower them. And to the parents, the fact that you're keeping quiet doesn't mean it's not happening. You're actually making it worse.
All right. We actually asked this question earlier on, whose job is it to start the sex talk? Is it parents or teachers? Well, we do have our poll currently going on, and there it is. It's up. Okay, look at that. Parents, 82%, teachers, 18%. So, majority of you actually say it is the parents' job, and I think that's what we've all been saying. Okay. So, ladies, thank you so much. Catherine Carriera, Sunday school teacher. By the way, we have to go for her class. If it's
we are taking our kids there.
If it's that late, we definitely want that. Also, I'm going to say a big thank you to Ruth Wanjiko, who is a young mom and, of course, a student. We cannot forget Esther Mbao, who is a counseling psychologist, very passionate about sexuality. All right, gentlemen. You heard Catherine say this, you shall not bust if you do not have sex.
Indeed, very good this one, because when you think about it, every single time when they're talking about it, it's in the sense that when you look at it, you have to find a way to talk about it. As a parent, you have to say something.
Okay. All right. So we want to thank you so much for actually participating on today's discussion. We're going to take a look at our feedback, and of course, we're going to look at Twitter and Facebook. All right, Twitter. Let me go ahead and read that out. Okay, the parent is the primary guardian of the child. The parent should relay the right path and information before others follow. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. If I can ask my director to switch that for me. Okay, let's see if we've got another one coming up. The feed is still loading. Yes, movie.
All right. We had one, though, on Twitter. There's a gentleman who goes by the name of Timo. as a father, at what age should I stop bathing my daughters?
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Mao, you can tell us.
Now he
from
should have not
age of 2, because children are actually learning the social skill of autonomy.
Right.
The child needs to start learning how to bathe themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but as a dad, like I should stop, you know,
Keep
walking
off.
in when she's naked when she's 2.
Keep off. Yes, keep off. Keep off completely.
So what if I'm left to babysit her and she needs to go to the toilet?
You can help. You can help. But even as you're helping, you need to tell her it's only daddy who's allowed to do this. Please make it very clear, even as you're doing it. Communicate. If another man does this, don't touch me. Don't allow them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff, anything that you have actually seen, or at least any questions that you
I think it's in terms of underscoring what has been brought up by Mbao, in the sense that you have to be clear, you know, this thing of do and using all of these code words, talk to them and tell them from a very early age what is going on, and grow with that. That's only you have this discussion.
All right, Big Stephen Olonde, interesting name. Parents are in a better position to tell their children this stuff, but parents might not educate them vizuri. Okay. Continue to talk to us on our social media platforms at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We appreciate your company, guys. Let's say goodbye.
Alrighty. Until tomorrow, same time, 6 a.m. all the way till 9. From Jeff Moore and myself, and of course Chico. Hasta la vista.
Okay, sawa sawa.